Seven years on YouTube. Jeez, I never thought I'd stay on the site for 7 years, let alone gain such a huge supportive audience. Like, words cannot express how grateful I am that you guys helped make it possible. I mean, I started as a dumb 13-year-old who had no idea what he was doing, just trying to upload some things he thought the world would find interesting. And to an extent, it worked. I went from a small channel with no more than 60 subscribers to one of the most well-known railfan YouTubers. And of course, the guy that always teaches you the history of what happened in train wrecks. So this year, I decided to show you guys a montage of video clips related to the number 7. Enjoy!
This is the oven outlet. The voltage reading here will show us if the phases are 120 degrees out or 180 degrees out. Let's check. Holy piece of
Let's get that. Hang on. Don't worry. I got it. 100%. Getting it to win it. Just gotta bow. You know, every once in a while. Pay my respects to the dead. You know, spill out some coffee for those that we have lost in this endeavor.
Oh! Oh my god!
Slap my head.
Nope.
Welcome to the Terminator!
Oh, I ain't having it.
This game sucks! 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 Oh yeah, and the Mario game, that one sucks too! CDI sucks!
As the runaway loomed into view, the engineer slammed his brakes and slowed to a mere 5 miles an hour, and then... As they rounded the curve, they finally caught sight of one another, but it was too late.
Today we're going to talk about the J.G. Brill high-speed car, or as everyone calls them, the Norristown Bullets. No, still no, getting close, still, oh for God's sake, not another one! There you go, thank you. This is the story on the Norristown Bullets. CM413 is right in front of VRL 4 on the same track. And then it happens. The two trains smash head-on into each other like two charging rams at a combined speed of nearly 125 miles an hour, around the same speed Regional 94 was going when it smacked into the three Conrails at Chase.
Now let's do 7 facts about Septa, because why not? Number 1, Septa has some of the shortest distances between stations, with some being no more than a mile apart from each other on lines such as the Wilmington-Newark line. This is one reason why Septa mainly prefers using their EMU fleet of Silverliners on their regularly scheduled local trains rather than their push-pull sets, which they mainly reserve for express trains during rush hour. Number 2, even though Septa was formed in 1964, they only had a handful of bus routes and 2 subway lines under their control at the time. with the trolley lines being owned by PSIC briefly, and the regional rail lines being owned by the private railroads, the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Reading Railroad, and later Conrail. Eventually the trolley lines and the Norristown high-speed line would fall under Septa control a few years later, and Septa didn't take over regional rail operations in Philly until 1983. Number 3. Septa was one of the very first railroads to be fully PTC certified, and they even started their implementation before the Chatsworth accident took place 2 years later. You can thank the Roslyn train collision for that. Side note, Septa almost made the original 2015 deadline, but were way ahead of the 2018 deadline for positive train control implementation. Number 4. Septa was the last railroad to retire its AEM-7 fleet, and was also the last railroad to have an operational ALP-44 in running condition on their fleet, holding on to them until the end of 2018. However, they were used as gel trains in the fall of 2019, but who really knows what their future holds right now, as they're currently in storage. Number 5. Septa is one of the very few commuter railroads in America that is 100% electric powered, only using diesel trains for rescue trains, maintenance of way, etc. They used to do diesel service at one point using Budd RDCs, ex-Reading F7s, and even testing British Leyland rail buses, but the service was abandoned in 1981. Number 6. Some people say Septa doesn't like excursions or steam locomotives on their right-of-way. That's where they're wrong. Septa allowed the Reading and Blue Mountain Railroad to run excursions on their ex-Reading lines in 1991 using former Reading T1-2102, and also allowed New Hope 40 to run excursions between North Wales and Gwynedd Valley in May of 2019. Their only worries were crowd control due to the large number of foamers that can easily get run over by regular Septa trains, and nowadays positive train control and cab signals, which is quite understandable. And number 7, almost all of Septa's lines were built by the fallen flags of the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Reading. The only exception is the airport line, which was originally owned by the Pennsy geographically, but after a major rework, it's now a mash between the original Pennsy line, a shared former Reading freight branch that was later owned by Conrail and now is owned by CSX, and lots of new construction by Septa. You could say it's the weird mixed half-brother of the regional rail lines. Now let's do 7 facts about myself and the channel. The channel was formed on April 3rd, 2013, and the first video was released 1 day later, which was just a video of me filming a growl test of the T128 in Limerick Power Plant. The audio crapped out, but oh well. From then on, I just posted random videos like random Bad Piggies clips, some rather regretful railfan videos of the trains I saw by chance, among other random crap, only getting a small audience. But as time went on, I eventually found my footing with certain ideas that have now made me quite well known, particularly when I started Engines of Septa and the Wreck documentaries. That's where my popularity levels exploded. My original channel name was actually my real name, first and last, embarrassingly enough. That was because when forming a YouTube channel, you also had to make a Google Plus account, because this was when the Google takeover happened. Ugh, what a steaming pile of horse manure that was. I had no idea how to change it because Google made it way too annoyingly complex until later on. I got the name Thunderbolt 1000 Siren Productions eventually, and that's what my channel name became. The name comes from the Federal Signal Supercharged Electromechanical Sirens produced from 1952 to 1990. The siren is basically like any other ordinary siren with a motor and chopper to create the sound, but with a roots blower that forces air into the chopper, amplifying the sound. There were many different models, but the 3 most common were the Singletone 1000, the famous Dualtone 1000T, and the 1003 that was also dual-tone but had solenoids able to create a high-low signal. There was a system of 165 of these sirens in the local area where I lived that would warn us if the nuclear power plant was about to go boom. They were mostly the 1000 model, with a few 1000Ts sprinkled in the Limerick area. Peach Bottom also had a similar system of these, but it was mainly the 1000s. They were all built between 1959 and 1974, and sadly by 2014 they were all replaced with T128s, with their only advantage being battery backup, and all were later scrapped. Now, even though I no longer have a big interest in sirens anymore, I was too lazy to change the name, and now it's kinda stuck, so I'm gonna leave it. Also, I chose the 1000 model because, well, that was the model I saw the most often, and even though people still search my channel with the T behind the 1000, that doesn't matter. As long as you guys, you all know what my channel looks like, so that's all that matters. Now, I know some of you do know me by my real name, since it's shared with a certain blue tank engine we all know. However, if you do spot me in public by chance, do call me by Thunder or Thunderbolt, as being called by my real name by some stranger I've never met is quite awkward, as I only like to be called by my real name by family or really close friends. My inspirations to create my channel came from too many users to count, but some include, but not limited to, Cheetah Wolf, Miss Auburn Blossom, now known as the Wilsonator, Trainmaster 844, GYJG6564167, and Explodin' Film. I do try to follow a set upload schedule with 1 to 2 rec documentaries a month and an episode of Engines of Septa every 1 to 3 months, but obviously that's out the window, so uploads are pretty much random, especially including the Railfan videos, which honestly turn up whenever I feel like it. This is not my only channel, believe it or not. I have a channel that was originally dedicated for gaming, but after being abandoned for so many years, I don't know what future it holds. I also co-own a channel with my girlfriend, which will develop in years' time. Check them out if you want to. I know for sure as time goes on, less and less videos will be put up on this channel at the time due to outside life and other things, but I promise I will never end this channel. I mean, even if it gets to the point where I'm only uploading a video every 1 to 3 years, I don't care. I'm keeping this channel alive as long as I can. So, why don't we keep this a reality by making it up to 10 years on YouTube, or even by then reaching my goal of 100,000 subscribers. We're already halfway there. So, let's make it a reality, because 80% of you that watch my videos apparently aren't subscribed yet. So if you aren't subscribed, by all means, do. It's for free. You'll get notifications and never miss another video of mine. And those that are subscribed, I thank you a lot. It really means a lot to me. Well, that's it for now. See you next time.